Alright, hey guys, I'm back, and today we're back with another tutorial, I guess. Recently today I went to Kohl's, and for the first time in, I don't know, maybe a good 5 years, they've had Thomas merch. And they had case A, so I also got this Toby right here, and I guess since this is semi-related to one of my last videos, I repainted my other Toby, so you can see he's way darker and now has a printed number and roof details. I still gotta slightly change these. These are from the old one, but yeah. But yeah, you'll see my plans for this Toby in another video, but I got this Thomas, and I was thinking, I haven't been able to find a storybook Thomas at all, like, period. So, why not, while I wait until I can find one and buy one, why don't I just make my own custom one? So for this custom, we're going to be using this Thomas and this Rainbow Thomas that I think was in a review from a few months ago. So yeah, I'm gonna unbox this guy and get both of these disassembled real quick. Alright, so here are both Thomases divided into the parts we're going to use. For the main body, we're going to be using the 80th anniversary main body. I'm going to keep this face, but I don't know if I'm going to use it. I'm just going to keep it nearby. So we're going to be using the main body of Thomas, the wheels, the side rods, which is pretty optional, the coupling, and this cowl piece for the cab. And also the whistle, but I'm not taking that out yet. And from the All Engines Go Thomas, we're just using the footplate and chassis. So, yeah. What we're going to start with. And also, by the way, I'd recommend you just use a normal All Engines Go chassis because... so you won't have to repaint it, but whatever. I don't really care about having to repaint since half the time I'm repainting the entire model, but... what we're going to do, first let's test fit it. Let's see if this works. Oop, almost fell. So let's see if this... okay, so the main body is like a match made in heaven. You have to cut down some of the supports, but it's almost it's basically the perfect length. And then the smoke box. So this means we can probably keep the screw too. We're gonna need to remove the frames, but this is basically perfect. So as I stated, let's... oh. Yeah, okay, there. Yeah, basically I cut the parts off, and we're going to use a craft knife to cut them off. I mean, cut the remains off, so yeah. Alright, so now that we got those frames off, I think I'm going to go in with a little black mixed with brown to match this. And just paint over that to, you know, cover the stress marks and the cut marks. But in the meantime, let's grab this. And this is basically what I do for all customs. So, like, you see Boko here, Boko on his foot plate. This is what I did. So basically what I do is, and I only tend to do this where it matters, like where it interferes with the new shell, and basically take this into mind because this is basically how I make all my take along to push along 060 engines. I take my craft knife and carefully cut at this. Okay, there. You see it's going through. We just Yeah. Okay, there. Now, I don't want to do too much cutting, so I'm just going to end it about there, because I think that's where it ends. Not where it ends, but that's where the side tank ends on the 80th shell. Okay, so there. That's the chassis. You can see there's cuts and scrapes, but first of all, on the outside, we're going to repaint it, and second of all, you're not going to see that on the inside. So let's do a quick test fit. The body sits at the off the back of the chassis, the footplate a little bit, but I don't mind that, especially because certain real engines are like that. I'll put an image on screen. But he's basically perfect now. We can get to, well, I might need to make some modifications to the footplate just so that he rests on it better. I might need to remove a little bit more of the supports, but yeah, he's basically perfect now. This is what he looks like with, oh shoot, I gotta wait. Yeah, I gotta hold up. Okay, so this is an issue I sometimes run into with these engines. When you drill the bolt open, sometimes you have to open up this hole so that this fits through. So back through, and that also goes for the original chassis. Sometimes you have to, since this was a bolt and you weren't able to completely screw it out or remove it, you sometimes have to open the hole on the chassis a little more. So I just take scissors, poke the thin end in, and then just twist like this. So let's do this. Basically put it in there to where it's this. So that's the small end. This is a bigger end. Make sure you get rid of any residue. And now you should be able to easily just... And sometimes you gotta force it in. Sometimes you gotta... Like now you gotta do a little more. And by the way, it's better to cut more than to cut less on these. Because most of the time I have to glue it on this. On this in particular, I'm going to be using the front screw right there, since it lines up, but sometimes you're going to have to glue these regardless, so yeah, don't mind that. Okay, let's go. I think that works. And it does work, so this is what he looks like. I might add some shorter smokebox supports, but... frames, smokebox frames, but... Okay, yeah, this is actually pretty good. Some plastic residue on the body. And of course I'm going to paint this back lamp. Now, I think the next thing we should do is see if the wheels and coupling fit, because... Yeah. Now I think I'm going to... I don't normally do this. I normally just glue the side rods to the footplate. But seeing as I'm putting this together like a normal Thomas, I think I'm going to try to cut holes in the footplate. In the chassis. Cut holes in the chassis so the rods will fit, so... Here's how he looks with the wheels. Let me see if he rolls pretty well. The thing in there fits pretty good, so it's holding itself together decently. He rolls pretty good. And honestly, if a new Thomas toy line comes out, this is actually what I'd like Thomas to look like. This is how I kind of want Thomas to look like in the reboot. In the 2026 show, I mean. Why do I keep getting off topic? Okay, so what we're going to do while I remember is we're going to take the smoke box, take this, and like we did with the supports and on the foot plate, we're just going to cut off the frick. It's optional if you still plan on using the original face, but I just want to have more freedom with the faces I use. I can use a take along face, take and play face. Freaking... I was thinking about this. I might get an Ertl sticker face. There's someone on eBay who sells replacements. I might get one of those. But anyway, yeah. And I'm not gonna bother with repainting this because you'll barely be able to see it. I just freaking cut myself. No, I didn't. I think we cut the stuff off the smoke box. Once again, that's optional if you want to use the official face, but I decided to change it. Now, here's the next thing I'm doing. I'm cutting into the chassis so we can fit the side rods. If I can find them, they would, oh, right here. See? So I'm lining up these holes. I line them up to these two. And like this one. And I'm basically using my Dremel. I'm taking this chassis, lining it up, and then just going at it with the Dremel. See, I'm lining up the cuts to where they'll match, and then these will hopefully slip over. So I'm gonna do that and return when I'm done. Also, this one came out too low because I wasn't paying attention, so yeah. Alright, so now I have this, and now this, and it's not perfect of course, but the side rods fit in, so let me show you. See? The screw piece is way bigger, so I got rid of this little section right here. I was just able to snip it with scissors. It's so easy to cut. And now I'm just going to glue these in. You know, I'll just glue these on after I paint, so. Which brings me to the next thing, paint. You wouldn't need to do this if it was a normal all-engine Thomas chassis. I didn't use one, of course, so I'm going to be using this gloss black with this brown. I'm going to mix a tiny bit of the brown in so I can hopefully get the color on the 80th Thomas. And here's how he looks on the footplate. So now, I think this is dry. Okay, yeah. So now I'm gonna glue these side rods on. Remember, these little slots need to go face down, and these little holes back here need to go to the back. So, let me see if I have a... No, I don't. Okay. Just remember that the slots, these little slots go on the bottom. I apply glue to the rods. I don't do too much because... Oh shoot, you gotta put the wheels in first. You gotta put the wheels in first too. Don't forget that either. The wheels. And then carefully put the rods. Okay, there, this is how the chassis looks. Just realized I didn't even... That would have been something. I just realized I didn't glue these together like I thought I did. Okay. So I'm gonna put these together. Okay, yeah. So let me make sure the foot plate fits. But that's basically how you want it to be. So this is basically the before, after, and then off both sides. And we're keeping these so they will hold the wheels in, because once again we don't want to glue anything extra. So now I just gotta do this 3 more times. Okay, so that's basically everything removed. So now, oh, here's the chassis. Let me see if it fits. It's perfect. It looks perfect. Okay, so I think it's time to screw this guy together. Get him on the chassis. Okay, there. And then product, I'm about to show some comparison photos, but yeah. And one more thing, thank you so much for 450 subscribers. I forgot about that. Let me just scratch that off and get there. Okay. And his face came off, so let me put that back on. But yeah, thank you so much for 450 subscribers. I'm really happy that I was able to make it this far, especially because, you know, people are just watching my crappy animations or my crappy toy trains, so yeah. And if you're not subscribed yet, if you like what you see here or anything else on my channel, well, just look down. Just look down and you'll be able to subscribe. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and on to the comparison photos, because I do not have the time to do a running session right now. And I'm probably just going to do one big running session in a different video with a ton of the other customs I haven't shown off yet. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.